21st of October. Good morning. Welcome to Smart Men's Business. I'm Anju Barija. It's exactly that's 2 minutes past the hour of 7 a.m. And at this particular time, we'll get you through the business news that are making headlines. And I also officially welcome you to the segment where we do the SMB News Recap. Let's take a look at what's making headlines in the world of business. But firstly, don't forget to check us out on GoTV channel 394, on DSTV channel 372, and our social media platform handles. That's at Twitter Smart24TV, then Smart24TV Facebook, and Smart24TV Live. That's on YouTube. And don't forget Zabu to boost your trading experience, as you will be in position to purchase stocks on Altex. The markets open at 8:15 a.m. and they close at 3:15 p.m. East African time. Star 292 hash, and of course you'll be availed with a variety of options. You'll be in position to purchase quite a number of so many items. It could be bonds, 1 year, bond, 5 year, bonds, depending on the option that you select. And you can do this at whatever part of the country you will be at. All right, let's get straight to the news recap. And firstly, let's take a review of the land disputes versus case backlogs, as case backlog in the judiciary continues to be a major issue in the nation. It is projected about 3 trillion shillings is being delayed as a result of these cases. Let's have the details of this report. I'll be returning with the highlights.
According to the annual judiciary report for 2022, there are 168,007 outstanding cases and 50,592 open cases, or a backlog of 30.11%. However, they are fighting tooth and nail to minimize case backlogs, according to James Karimani, the Judiciary Communications Officer, who estimated over 3 trillion is stuck in the land division alone that comes along with land disputes.
Backlog, of course, in that land division, and the backlog of those cases are holding monies which would be released to the economy, and it would be boosting our economy. It is estimated that in the land division, if you calculate all the matters that are there, it can be up to around 3 trillion being held up there in the disputes that are in court. Someone bought land, was a lot of money, and before he could do anything, a conflict arose, and therefore his money is held there. He cannot develop the land, and that money is held there.
Remember, we have been having challenges with courts of law. Cases take long to be disposed of. Remember, these are matters that touch the vulnerable, the most vulnerable.
According to the important to note that land is not registered and the customary land.
It's projected that more than 3 trillion are being delayed by land disputes in the land division just alone. Economically, the absence of such money has an impact that's on economic growth because it discourages investment. All right, and away from that, let's head straight to financing and road maintenance, as the government through the Ministry of Works has released 134 billion Ugandan shillings. That's in the second quarter of the financial year 2022-2023. This is intended to reconstruct the roads that have been destroyed by the heavy rainfalls. Let's have the details.
The general public has been gripping about the bad roads that prevent people from taking care of their businesses and other growth plans, as well as the insistence of the districts that hire service providers to perform road maintenance tasks in violation of predetermined standards. The government donated the road maintenance equipment to facilitate the road work programs. Thus, all districts are required to abide by the new rules.
We have decided that this is going to be the way we are going to do business, to avoid the gray areas where people say we have not got money when the district has got money. Even if you got 10 million, show what the 10 million has done, and then we shall be able to be accountable to you and the members of the society. I also want to bring this up, and so that you know. Every district has a district road committee. And the chairperson of that district road committee is the member of parliament. So members of, here I can see some people are surprised. You know that members of parliament are members of the district road committee. So they are supposed to sit with this committee. First of all, the district submits annually to Engineer Naimani their work plan. What are they going to do? Which roads are they going to address? What culverts are they going to fix? Blah, 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 and how much money?
Neymanya Andrew, the executive director of Uganda Road Fund, has pleaded with all parties involved to refrain from abusing the money that has been made available and to ensure that all utility companies are aware that all the contracted roads are repaired on schedule.
Humble request to district road committees to ensure that the funds are utilized as per the agreed work plans. Also, my humble request to the utility companies. Someone shared with me a bill of about 7 million shillings for a car to be repaired, simply because of a utility company that has dug up the roads in KCCA in Kampala here and have not repaired them. So this is a bill that a road user is facing simply because utility companies are not covering when they dig up our roads. So the money is limited. Please, I humble request utility companies, please don't dig up our roads and then you damage the vehicles.
As one of the stakeholders, KCCA has received funding as well. According to David Luyimbazi, the Deputy Executive Director of KCCA, the roads in the worst condition should be fixed before the others.
To announce that we've received about 4 billion shillings from the road fund for this coming quarter. And we're going to focus on roads in the Kololo areas, Kiembe Lane, Chitezi Road, Kampala Road, and Bombo Road. But maybe as a matter of caution, I want to inform you. KC has a network of about 2,100 kilometers, of which 600 kilometers are paved. But 60% of that network is beyond what a maintenance intervention can cause an improvement. So don't expect much change in the condition of the road network in Kampala, because much of it is beyond repair. And we are focusing on trying to mobilize resources to reconstruct, revamp this network. And in that effort, again, we've received about $288 million from African Development Bank to reconstruct, rehabilitate about 69 kilometers of roads in Kampala.
134 billion Uganda shillings has been released to maintain, to construct and reconstruct all roads in the country. This money has been distributed amongst all stakeholders, that is, UNRA, KCCA, districts and sub-counties. All this has come after all roads being destroyed by the heavy rains falling.
The different stakeholders have been given money according to the roles that are 100 billion. For example, that's the Uganda National Roads Authority was handed over on 100 billion, and then KCCA 4 billion and 30 billion to the districts and the sub-counties to ensure that these projects are efficiently, of course, executed to achieve their intended purpose. All right, and away from that, let's head straight to the value addition that's on grain. Our stakeholders are calling forward for the commercialization of agriculture, but this time around emphasizing the use of machines and irrigation. Let's have the details of this report. I'll be returning with the highlight.
The main objective of grain storage is to profit from higher grain prices by delaying delivery after harvest. Gain carry in future markets and basis improvement are two ways that this manifests itself. In East Africa, the grain industry, along with its full value chain, plays a significant role in raising household incomes, improving food security, and generating new jobs. Evidently, cost-cutting increases grain value and the significance of ethics in business.
When you reduce the cost of production and you have visibility of your whole value chain, you're not only reducing cost and providing efficiencies on your value chain, but you're also creating value on the other side where we can now start the wheel of value. So it becomes a cycle. When you're successful in a sale where you are ensuring and monitoring quality all the way, it means that people are now encouraged when they see the tail end of the profitability of a sector. And now it will not only stick to grain, but I encourage people of sugar to come along, because we have the white sugar and the industrial sugar. We encourage people of cotton to come along. All these warehouses, they're not just for grain. We encourage all the other, and all the post-harvest handling. I don't know now, we even have the cold houses, because it's not just the grain, but we now have the cold houses. We get orders for beef to the UAE, but we do not have cold houses. And I believe they can take the same kind of framework.
Once we know what's good for us, let's also appreciate that it must be good for our neighbors. In other words, if you're a business person or a manufacturer or a producer of a product, you must first taste it, eat it yourself before you give others to eat. Because that is the challenge we are facing, that ethics have gone out in business. People are selling knowingly unsafe products, and yet they want to make money from it.
A value chain can be described as the entire range of tasks necessary to take a good service from conception through all stages of manufacturing. Farmers, traders, processors, transporters, wholesalers, retailers, and final consumers are some of the value chain actors who actually transact a specific commodity as it passes through the chain. Storage plays a significant role in the production of high-quality grain and value addition to grain.
Around provision of storage facilities, silos and warehouse is another value. Because any grain, if it is not properly stored, you lose that grain. Any food. Secondly, as a way of adding value, value is lost at production. So we have created a lot of awareness to the producers, those are our farmers. We tell them that this is the best way of managing our food. Thirdly, we undertake fumigation, which is recommended within the food health standards. So that fumigation is able to preserve food, and this food does not become poisonous to us, the consumers.
So much, we consume so little internally, but most of it is for export. And to export, you have standards. Besides the export standards, we must produce and consume standard commodities. So our markets, our partners in the region expect us to produce for them and produce good quality.
Value addition creates a higher market value of products and a long shelf life. It also attracts more customers, which boosts revenue and also profits. Bronya Katsime, Smart 24 TV.
The first step in mapping the market is to delineate thus the value chain. The flow of seed to farmers and grain or tubers to the market occurs along these particular chains. The stakeholders are pushing for greater commercialization and of course of agriculture by encouraging the use of irrigation and mechanized farming. That's to improve on the value chain. All right, and away from that, let's head to the rising non-performing loans, and this time around we are looking at what really causes these loans to be in existence. Let's review this. I'll be right back.
Banks are obligated to classify a loan as a non-performing loan under the Financial Institution Act of 2016, which states that this must happen when a borrower misses at least 90 days of interest or principal payments. Non-performing loans as a percentage of total gross loans in commercial banks were 5.3% in the quarter ending June 2022, down from 5.72% in the quarter ending March 2022. That's according to the Bank of Uganda Financial Stability Review. This decrease will inevitably continue to rise. At the end of 2021, Tropical Bank had at least 31% of its total loans classified as NPLs, followed by DFCU Bank with 18%, EcoBank with 15.3%, ABSA with 15%, and NCBA with 10%.
The remaining banks' percentages were under 10%. The General Director of Finance Trust Bank claims that this growth is being driven by clients who opt to change their borrowing goals and those who have bad saving practices.
Solution to non-performing assets in the bank, I think, basically lies with the customers. The bank does its assessment at the time when we are appraising the facility. Everything looks okay. But along the way, we have also noted with concern that customers default. The causes of default mainly are from the fact that sometimes customers divert the funds we've given them to needs that don't conform to the original purpose of the loan. That is number one, the reason why some loans get to default. Other than that is that Ugandans are not into the culture of using their bank accounts. If you use your account by saving on a daily, on a monthly, on a weekly, by the time the bank is going to take its installment, you have that money. So default will not be anywhere. And it's important that people know that default is a bad thing. Why? Because now we are under the bureau. And when you are under the bureau, if your credit history is distorted, no bank will be able to fund you.
Given the following, a global rural banking platform that offers inexpensive financing recommends bankers to assist some of their clients who struggle with understanding the notion of borrowing because it is a widespread issue.
Oxfin International, we do the financial literacy. We teach them how to open their account, what is the importance of their account, and then because we've already organized the farmers, we've done the village saving, the in-village saving. So after that, we're going to take them to linkages. So we invite the banks to help us open up the account after sensitizing them about the financial and non-financial.
Bank of Uganda established the Emergency Liquidity Assistance, where banks can access lower interest funds to meet financing needs of customers.
In spite of the reforms made to the sector, of course, the non-performing loans in Uganda's commercial banking have shown a positive trend regarding that. In addition to hindering loan expansion, the non-performance loan problem has also led to failure of liquidation of a few commercial banks. And remember, understanding the causes of the non-performing loans that's in Uganda's commercial banking industry is essential in light of the crisis. In the light of this, sorry. All right, and now let's head straight to cyber security. As remember, it's October and this is the Cybersecurity Awareness Month globally. Small and intermediate enterprises are being urged to practice proper cyber hygiene. Remember, Uganda loses about 15 billion shillings on an annual basis due to cyber-related crimes. Let's have the details. Sorry.
The financial industry is undergoing significant change, from automated teller machines to mobile and online banking, and criminals are not sleeping as they increasingly exploit customers' ignorance to their advantage. According to estimates, cybercrime in Uganda costs the country more than 15 billion shillings a year in non-financial losses, fraud, and data breaches. Experts claim that since then, the number has increased.
I think as the students' body, you either, if you have not already worked on an e-commerce project, you might be working on one, or you have someone working on one. Why? Because in any business, we think about scalability, right? Scalability means that how easy is it for me to sell 1, 2, 3, 10, multiply my sales quickly, and therefore we have to embrace technology. But then, you as a young business that is thinking about scaling, and therefore embracing e-commerce, you have not considered security. You find a young lady who is selling her shoes online, she has built herself a small e-commerce platform, gets hacked, and her mobile wallet is emptied in a minute.
The Cybersecurity Career Week focuses on interesting the public to pursue careers in cybersecurity that will help small and medium enterprises to build strong systems.
We are working with, we're helping people to appreciate the need for cybersecurity. Our objective is to drive interest and conversations around cybersecurity such that businesses, professionals, individuals can one, pick interest in cybersecurity, two, start applying the right controls in their businesses to protect themselves, and most importantly, can we start building a culture that can protect ourselves from cybersecurity overall? Why? We are at a time where technology has become a core function of our day-to-day work.
The relevance of this cybersecurity is that it helps to create awareness within the public and also the customers at large to make sure that they are protected in terms of transacting online as well as doing the physical transactions, let's say on ATMs, the post machines, doing other TGSs. So cybersecurity awareness will also help them to understand the dangers of stealing their money without their knowledge.
Uganda is making progress in its efforts to battle cybersecurity issues, but one of the obstacles is the shortage of professionals in the field, which the Uganda Communications Commission says needs to be fixed.
Considering that I'm going to partake a master's in cybersecurity, this gives me like an insight of what to expect when I go to school. Like there are different things that I actually didn't know, the different terminologies.
Of us were in the field of IT. Most of the things we do are usually software, building software systems. And one of the key things in softwares is security. So if there is no security, then there is no purpose of building softwares, because there are things that can be easily penetrated, like our financial information, our account information, different things that are on the system that we build.
The Computer Misuse Amendment Bill 2022, which President Museveni signed into law, might punish individuals who breach the privacy of others as means of combating cybercrime. However, experts believe that raising awareness is preferable to passing legislation.
Looking at how do we get them inspired into the cybersecurity space. Yes, well, the Computer Misuse Act directly affects and is part of the cybersecurity and data privacy. The act, which came in 2011, was designed to protect users from things like cyberbullying, things like hacking. So in that case, whenever someone is implicated against a Computer Misuse Act for hacking, they would then face a certain amount of time in jail or pay penalties. However, the amendment, to me, really, I would not think of it as something that was necessary. That's my opinion.
The Computer Misuse Act has been updated in light of the development of technology and the rise in cybercrime to reflect these developments, as well as the growing and increasing sophisticated nature of cybercrime.
Are you practicing the right cyber hygiene? Remember, 15 billion Ugandan shillings lost on an annual basis as due to cyber-related crimes. Small and intermediate enterprises have been trained and urged to practice the proper cyber security hygiene for their personal safety in the wake of the heightened attacks. It is estimated that Uganda loses over 15 billion shillings on cyber-related crimes, data breaches, fraud, and non-financial losses. All right, and now let's wind this up with a World Saving Day that is scheduled for October 31st. This day is observed and celebrated. That's on the 31st. This is done in an effort to raise awareness of the value of bank savings and rebuild public faith in banks. And of course, in order to equip journalists, Diamond Trust Bank has created a financial literacy program that emphasizes retirement planning and savings and putting necessities above wants. Let's have the details.
Financial literacy is the vehicle we're using. So today we are training journalists to know how to manage their own resources. That if I get a little money, how do I use it to be able to sustain myself tomorrow? When I have medical needs in future, where do I go to? We are saying that the responsibility of your financial needs is yours and yours alone. Don't look at someone else on the outside. Look at yourself. Ask yourself,
Financial literacy is the capacity to comprehend and apply a range of financial competencies such as personal financial management, budgeting, savings, loans management, and investment. To be able to handle money effectively while taking into account one's economic and social conditions, one must possess the knowledge, abilities, and confidence to do so. The Savings Financial Capability Report 2020 states that 0.7% of Ugandans save for leisure, 43.9% save to consume, 21% save to meet goals, and only a few people can survive in the event that they lose their source of income.
One of the statistics we have shared today is that only 8.6% of adults in Uganda can sustain their lives in the event that they lost their source of employment. So it is absurd that over 91.4% would actually find it difficult to survive in the event that they lost their jobs. So we are emphasizing that for everything you earn, save something. Save a portion of all the income you are blessed to receive. That said, we are emphasizing the issue of save first before you spend. So
according to the Uganda National Household Survey 2019-2020, 80.7% admitted that they save to start their own businesses, 19.3% used their savings to grow their businesses, and 51.5% cited a lack of finance as a key challenge to business growth. As World Savings Day draws near, Bank of Uganda is also taking the initiative to inform and empower the general public on savings.
So this is the period where we really emphasize the aspect of saving. And one of the key activities that we are going to emphasize through your regulated financial institutions is to save as soon as you get any money, and we are emphasizing too that every money counts. You're going to listen to our campaigns under the theme of we are looking at saving 1 shilling at a time, and you start small, but ultimately this money can grow big. And of course, we are also emphasizing the issue of being green smart, so that even as we are saving this money, we are able to preserve our surroundings, our environment, and at the end of it all, we are able to attain our various life goals. So yes, listen in the event that Bank of Uganda or your financial institution calls you for an activity relating to saving, please come in.
Due to the vast numbers of people they can reach, journalists have been singled out for this financial literacy gospel and should act as change agents in society.
Very important members of society that also communicate this information to people. Yes, we want them to communicate to the people, but also to be that good example to society. You cannot be a good example when you're talking about financial wealth, people who are rich, when you're not rich yourself. And that's why we're saying, journalists, hey, pick this information, go tell it on the mountain and everywhere.
Tilda Nabanja discusses one of the strategies to promote saving in order to prepare Uganda's youth who are largely lacking a savings habit.
Most importantly, we are also going to have what we call the Savings Challenge. So visit your institution and ask about the Savings Challenge, whereby we are emphasizing that try to save for something in a period of 12 months. And your institution is going to guide you to see that you too can achieve various goals. So in these unprecedented times, it is key for us to start planning today, because the onus is on us to be able to plan for our money well, invest our money well, be able to grow the money that we have in our lives. And
that's the World Saving Day scheduled. That's for 31st October. And of course, there is a need to improve and of course encourage the saving culture in the country of Uganda. All right, and that's it for the news recap this morning. Let's get into a short commercial break. SMB returns. Good morning.